hear your praise. They got to hear you open up your mouth and glorify God. So thus they must have checked themselves. Again, why didn't that 9 turn back? There's power though in this message to show you that sometimes people will do the religious thing on Sunday and continue to go to church rather than giving God the thanks for what he's done. What he is doing, I heard Minister Banks say in her prayer, oh, we give you thanks, God, for what you've done, for what you're doing, and for what you're gonna do. Your actions when you start to go and as you're walking in faith, because I don't know who has a promise from the Lord, amen, but as you're walking in faith, you ought to be checking to see. But as you're checking to see, you ought to be glorifying God as well and giving him thanks. As I said before, whether Pookie, JJ, whoever show up at the table, we ought to give God thanks. Amen. We ought to give him praise even before we see a change in their lives. That God can do it. We've already said that he's able to do it. Amen. We know that he's able to do it. And as we lift up our voice on one accord, then others will come on in. They will be saved. Amen. Let's continue in the scripture in this passage. Because there is a final word that I want you guys to see. This is very important, I think, to know. Let's take a look at verse 16. It says, as he gloried, the voice he had with a loud voice glorified God. In verse 16 it says, and fell down on his face at his feet. That means he lay prostrate before the Lord. I don't know about you, but it reminds me of the passage in which the young lady comes to the Pharisee's house. And she too falls at the feet of Jesus. She opens her alabaster box.
Come on now.
And she begins to cry at the feet of Jesus and to wipe Jesus' feet with her hair. When I think about that story, and when I think about how we worship and how we go before the Lord, it reminds me that I can't think so highly of myself that I forget that God is worthy of adoration and worship at all times.
All times.
No matter how big I get, how many PhDs I get, whatever it is, he's worthy that I give him thanks. He's worthy that I give him glory. Amen? Because Simon had not offered Jesus a thing.
That's right.
He had not offered him a thing as he was in the house.
Yes.
But then Jesus brought something to his attention. He talks about 2 debts, and this is why we cannot get comfortable even in our salvation.
All right.
We cannot be comfortable in our Christianity, that we forget that we have to be thankful at all times. There's power in thanksgiving and remaining in a position of thanksgiving. Because there were 2 debtors, he says. One owed so much more than the other. But Jesus teaches Simon a lesson in the fact that to whom much is owed, usually they're the ones that are much more thankful. Here's what I'm trying to say. You don't know my struggle. I don't know what you've gone through. Let's not dictate to each other how we have to praise and thank God.
All right.
One may have to scream and shout because they think of the goodness of Jesus and everything that he's done for them. Their soul begins to cry out, hallelujah! Thank you, Lord!
Thanks,
There is a place for us to be quiet, but there's also a place and a time for us not to sit silent and not to be quiet, but to open up our mouths and to give God glory. To open up our mouth with a loud praise and give him glory. Because he's worthy.
He's worthy.
If he doesn't do anything else for you this week, he's still worthy of you saying thank you. If he doesn't ever give you what you really think you ought to have, he is still worthy. Because Christ being on the cross, suffering, taking on the blows, taking on the stripes, taking on the pain that really we was supposed to endure. He's worthy for you to open your mouth at all times. No matter how you feel. No matter what you're going through, he's always worthy.
Worthy, yes he is.
While I want to encourage you, I also want to strengthen you. That we cannot be so caught up in our emotions about things that we forget to give him thanks.
That's right.
I was having a conversation with someone and reminding them, because they said they could never get over anything, and I was so glad that they had talked to me. I was so glad that they had called and actually texted me this information, because I sent a message back just reminding them, when you say you cannot heal, when you say you'll never get over something, what you're doing is denying the power of God and his ability to be God and master over your circumstances and your situation. God is sovereign whether we acknowledge it or not. But having the power of thanksgiving, thanking him in the midst of your struggle, thanking him in the midst of your trouble, thanking him even when people misunderstand you and don't understand, or they put words in your mouth or thoughts in your head. He's still worthy of you saying thank you. Everybody will not always understand you nor your praise.
So true.
But it's up to us to continue to give him thanks.
Hallelujah.
Here's what I want us to see. Because the 9 were Jews, the Samaritans, we know, were Gentiles. They were half-breed, basically. So let me just give you a quick lesson, in case any of us have forgotten, because if we sat under Pastor Davis, we know it. That the Samaritans were half-breeds. They were mixed between the Assyrian race and the Jewish race. We know this also because the woman at the well confirmed for us who her father was. She is a descendant of Joseph. But when you really study the history of it, but she says our father Jacob gave us this well.
All right.
So we understand that she was part Jew. And the Samaritans and the Jews did not get along. So is it not amazing that you have 9 or 10 lepers, 9 who probably were Jews, and this one Samaritan?
Oh, come on.
You see how one common issue can bring folk together? It don't matter your race.
That's right.
You find that one problem that's getting on all of y'all nerves, and I'll guarantee you, every race will get involved.
That's right.
Whether you're Jew or you're Gentile. If you got a problem in the city, everybody will come together to try to get rid of that problem. Am I right? Amen. Everyone will cluster together. And it ought to be so with the body of Christ. The body of Christ, Christ is the head. We are the body. No matter whether you place, whether your finger or your hand, your leg or your foot, whatever you are. If there is a problem or sore, we have to rush to that area. And hoping to get that healed. Amen? So that we're not crippled in any type of way. But the Samaritans and the Jews, they did not get along. They really did not. So it's very unique and it's very interesting that Luke tells us that the man that came back to give thanks was a Samaritan. It shows how often even your own people will reject you.
Come on now.
But strangers will welcome you in.
Welcome you in.
Do you see what I'm saying? And this is how Christ usually worked. He didn't go to those who were whole. The Bible says they are not in need of a physician, only they who are sick. Therefore he didn't come to call the righteous, but he came to call the sinner. And so we see this man who had been broken. We see this man who had been diseased. We see this man who was living with no hope and possibly would not ever be in a relationship with his family again. Restored and whole. Let's finish reading and I'm going to wrap things up. Amen. Told you I wouldn't be going to be long. It doesn't take us long if we focus. Amen. And Jesus answering said, were there not 10 cleansed?
Come on.
Now he didn't say, were there not just 10 of them? Did he say that? What does he say? Were there not 10 cleansed? Jesus knew they were clean.
All right, come on.
Jesus knows you're clean. By his word, if you read it. Because the word, he says, to worship. Amen? He says, but where are the 9? Don't be among the 9.
All
today.
right, all right.
The 9 are out somewhere shopping. They are not going to be worried about giving thanks to God. Or the 9 is sitting down, doing absolutely nothing. Don't be among the 9.
All right.
There is power in thanksgiving.
Hallelujah.
And I'm not just talking about a holiday. You see, I understand. I thought back, and I was thinking about my parents this morning, and how my mother would be in the kitchen, and I could hear her singing the gospel music. She was a directress that way. And I could hear my father getting things together. And as our family, because I'm one of 10, I'm the youngest of 10, amen? Whole lot of us. And then there's a lot of grandchildren. And so when we would come together, and some of you would do the same thing this week, and I'm not picking on you, but the women would be somewhere talking and chit-chatting and all that, right? And the men, they would gather together, and even some of the women would do it, by that TV, to watch what? Football. And you'll hear them hollering, go for their favorite team, won't you? Look at it, Pastor Davis. Because I'm telling the truth. Amen? And then you will hear the children. They will be together. Some of them might even be fighting over a toy. No, that belongs to me. But most part, they'll be laughing and they'll be enjoying each other and fellowship. Here is what I want you to do. Because you are the one that's in your family, gather them all together and have a praise party, even if it's only for 5 or 10 minutes, and just begin to thank God. Yeah. And as you begin to thank God, watch him show up.
All right.
Deliver Pookie. Watch him show up. And he'll jerk JJ off the street. Watch him show up. Hey, and he'll be like Lazarus. Come forth. For you were dead, and now you're alive. All the joy in giving thanksgiving, the power in giving thanks. I dare you to try it. I dare you to call them all out of their different places. Say, come over here. Let us get together. Let us get on one accord. Let us praise his name for about 5 minutes. And I don't care what you're going through. It's going to shift the atmosphere. I decree and declare it'll break the yoke of your life. It'll tear down some strongholds. It'll deliver some of the family members. Be that one, because there's power in giving thanks to God. Be that one to say, forgive us, God, for all the times we didn't thank you. Forgive me, God, for all the times I disappointed you. Forgive me, God, because I haven't been obedient. Forgive me, God, because of the things I've said. Forgive me, God, because of the things I've thought about. Forgive me, God, because I didn't trust you. Forgive me every time I said, Lord, I can't make it through. But you carried me day in and day out. Hey, thank you, God, that I got up this morning. Thank you, God, that I have the activities of my life. Thank you, Jehovah God, because you saved me. You came down 40 and 2 generations just to see about me. Thank you, God, that you wrapped your love in the form of a babe. Thank you, God, that I didn't have to go to cross by myself, but he sent his only begotten son. Oh, that whosoever believed in him would not die, but they're going to have eternal life. Thank you, God.
Thank you.
Thank you, God.
Thank you.
Thank you, God. Oh, don't let your Thanksgiving be an ordinary day. And you wait for the Black Friday sales to start. Get up off of your seat. You worship him. You lay before him. You praise him. You give him glory. Oh, I'm almost done. I thought I was, but I didn't forget we had a few more verses. Sit down for just a second. Amen. Got excited. But there's power in giving thanks. He asked about the 9 who didn't show up. They were on their way to show themselves to the priest. How many of you know you really don't need us to go before God? You can go and pray if you're saved. Jesus is the intercessor. He's the mediator. We stand in the gap for you, yeah. He's called us, but he's called you too. Amen? Let me wrap things up here. So it says here, there are not found that return to give glory to God, save this stranger.
All right.
I don't want the unbeliever to outdo me in my praise and
Come on
thanks.
now. My.
Come on. Somebody who didn't even know the Lord,
All right.
didn't know him, turned. And when I think about turn back, that means sometimes we're headed in the wrong direction. Right?
All right.
But if we just turn around, God is right there. Give him glory, give him praise, and give him thanks.
Please do.
And as we do that, he saves us.
Yeah.
I believe that this leper, this man who had been cast out of society, that didn't have any hope, didn't have any reconciliation with his family, was not even thought of or possible in his lifetime.
Yeah.
Because it was restored, he had not only a mind change and a mind to see he was being healed on the outside. Because it takes the power of God to really make you turn and give thanksgiving to him.
Yeah.
To recognize that he's worthy of honor and praise. It takes the Father to draw you to Jesus. That's the Bible. So there was a transformation, not just physically, but in the heart.
Hallelujah.
And I'm going to tell you this. I don't care how much Pookie and Nene and Shanae or whomever, and I'm just using those character names, right? Get on your nerve this Thanksgiving. Even if they're on your job or whatever. They should not dictate to how you treat them. Why?
All right.
Because the transformation, if the Lord is already in you,
Ah.
there